What's good, guys? Charles and Team COG coming at you here with my updated Crusadia deck profile that I took to locals. Ended up going 4-0. I was unstoppable. I was in train. You could hear the gallops of Equal Mechs charging into the field to deliver the one punch. But sadly to say, like it's not pure Crusadia. It's still playing the Guard Dragon variant because I do believe that the Guard Dragon variant is still the best variant. And however, we did play a new engine that I will show you guys as we get there, and give you my reasons once we get there for it. I did play Trap Tricks, I played Altergeist, I played Cleave Fort, I played Mech Knight. So I played a lot of Rogue, and that's where this deck really shines. So this deck is a good deck against the meta, but then when it's against other Rogue decks, it really has the ability to shine even brighter amongst them because of just now, unless you have the impermanence or anything like that, like you really can't stop us. So anyway, let's just jump into the video. I'll kind of like explain along the way on how everything goes and how everything went. But 3 Maximus, he is our boy. He's my favorite card in the entire deck. Also, guys, before we go on any further, thank the Yugi gods. We got rarity bumps. That's all that matters. We got rarity bumps. So I can't wait to finally get this guy in Prismatic Secret, so that'll be awesome. But anyway, 3 Maximus, he's really good for his level 4, and also because when you're forced to go second, he allows you to pretty much whack with Equal Mech still. He's just still so important. Not even just for his level, and just his effect is just good for first and second. So moving on. 3 of the waifu, who if you watched the Cleave Fort video, she was always in my hand. She was just an awesome. She's awesome. I really am so happy that this card is getting a super. It's well deserved. It has no inherent like effect to summon, you know. For all you people who are new to Crusadia, it summons itself, but it has like no effect except for the ability to banish itself from the graveyard to protect any Crusadia, which you will see in the duel video of how I have to use this to protect Avramax from strike, because this is an instead of effect. So like, let me explain this real quick while we're here. It says when a Crusadia card will be destroyed. You control be destroyed battle or card effect. You banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. So it's not an activating effect, if that makes sense. It is an instead of effect. It works similar to the way that Return the True Dragon Lords works. It just happens. So anyway, we're just going to move on to 3 Draco, in my opinion. The second, maybe the best, actually, probably some will argue. But since I played pure Crusadia before this, I'll say it's the second best. It's recursion for your Crusadia engine. It's also a dragon for your Guard Dragon engine. So it just works dual purpose. And it's so good. It allows you to chain block the Magius, allows you to chain block the Regulix if you so need to. And it's just so good. And yeah, super reprint also. Really happy for that. Now to Reclusia, the card that when I first started playing the deck, I always played this card at 2. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, I didn't really like playing it. I played it at 2, but now since I've had to play it at 3, this card will always stay at 3. This is such a good card. Going second, you just are able to apply a lot of pressure and force certain back rows to allow you to play. And especially when it's against like Salamangreat and Sky Strikers, you have the ability just to freely summon this card and then just force the Widow Anchor or force the Roar or force the Rage, which is really good. I mean, of course, they're going to get off the Sunlight Wolf, but it won't matter, guys. Let them get the Sunlight Wolf. Let them get 3 Sunlight Wolves off. It don't matter. By the time you're done, they're either going to be dead, or you're going to have to build. You're going to build your board so high that you're going to be able to negate anything they do, minus the counter trap. But anyway, moving on to Aslan. So Crusadia Leonis is at 2. We dropped him down from 3 to 2, and it's kind of I think ironic, hypocritical of me to do that. But allow me to explain to you why I've had a change of heart with this, and it is because of. You want to max out on Crusadias because you need a Crusadia to combo off. If you do not open any Crusadias, you cannot combo off at all. However, I needed room to fit in more cards, so I was like, well, if I had to cut one, what are my chances and how is that going to be? And I'm going to give a huge shout out to Phoenix Flare. I watched his video and this video, and he kind of was like my, kind of like he does mathematics, so I'm not good at math at all. So when he puts it down and says like you have a 90% chance to do this and do that, I like that. That kind of helps me out a little bit. So he's only playing 1 Leonis, which I do not think is correct. However, in the sense of his math, like by playing the 1 Leonis, you only lose like a 1.6% chance of not opening a Crusadia. So by playing 2, we're still keeping it there, and I like having chances in my favor. But anyway, We're playing 2 Leonis. The effect never comes up, really. Like, back then, when Scapegoats was at 3, this effect came up quite a bit because you would target your Equal Max, target your Avermax, and whack over all the tokens for double damage and just punish them for playing cards like Scapegoat. So, but 2 Leonis, and now finally for the Honorary Crusadia, which is getting a super reprint. Also, Leonis is still a common, but, you know, rip, we all can't win. But Crown, so what does Crown here do? Crown is an Honorary Crusadia. It special summons itself from the hand to a zone and link monster points to, and it can trigger off your Magus, it can trigger off your Regulex. You don't really want to summon this to the Spathite, because if you're going to Spath, you're going to Guard Dragon plays. But however, at the end of your combo, when you're ending with the Avermax and like your Dawn Dragster and your Crystal Wing, this is another form of disruption. By just having this card, this turns like your worst hand that can only put up to like 2 negations or 2 interruptions. This becomes your third. And in your bad hand, or like in your good hands, where you, without the Sea Turtle, where you can only put up 3 negations, this becomes like your 4th interruption. It's really good. I'm still going to play it. I like it a lot. Now on for the familiar package, sadly. We're playing 3 Renru. He is the most important of the familiars because he's a dragon. Take note, guys, if this card is destroyed battle card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can target 1 other familiar in the graveyard and special summon it. So, like, it and Gigabyte has the ability to kind of float through each other, so you can potentially wall up. But Renru is really good because it's a dragon. It can be brought back with World Legacy Guard Dragon with Red MD. And it can special summon itself if you control a spellcaster. However, like, that's where I think that this engine falls. I guess, like, let me just go ahead and show you guys, and I'll explain to you guys my difference, my opinion. So we also play 3 Gigabytes, 3 Inari Fires, and 3 Nefarious Archfiend. So, like, where this engine falls short is on your, actually, believe it or not, is when you draw off your Saryuja. You want to draw into dragons so that you can combo off, which is Renru, Crusadia Draco, or any of your extenders. So essentially you have 9 ways to draw into dragons. However, like, sometimes, like, when you draw in Quick Launch, let's not forget Quick Launch, you have 12 ways, or 13 if you count hard drawing the rocket that you can special off the Saryuja. But you draw into these guys a lot, and we don't have, like, the extra deck space is so tight, we don't have, like, a crazy rank 4 that we can go into to benefit playing so many rank 4s outside of the Azathoth and Narla. So, like, I was trying to find a way to fit in, like, a giant hand, because it's a form of monster negation. Fit that in there, because you just play so many level 4s, like, but sadly space is so tight. But that is my hindsight on this engine. It makes the thought, I mean, it is really consistent. Really, really consistent. I will not diss it. I will not talk bad about it. It's so consistent. You make the thought and you win. I mean, straight up. And these guys don't start a chain when they summon. They just summon themselves. So, like, against opposing boards, you are legitly able to, against combo boards like the other Crusadia Thunder Dragon or Crusadia Guard Dragon, when they have Gamma Seal, so they have 8 negates, you just normal summon, you link, you special these guys to, and just make Azathoth, and Azathoth doesn't activate. So then Azathoth just shuts off all the negates, and then you just wombo combo off on them. So, I mean, I think that's pretty good. But these guys help make the thought, which shuts off hand traps, which allow us to play. But that's it for the familiars. We are playing quite a bit of them. We're playing 12 of them, but I mean, we have to make the thought, because once we remove the thought, and in a lot of competitive play, guys, like, I know this sounds crazy, but even at my locals, people always had a hand trap when I made the thought. Minus the Cleefort. Jason, who played Cleefort, he didn't have a hand trap whenever I made the thought, but almost every match after that and before that, they either had Veilers, Ashes, like, they had it. So, like, now imagine going into a competitive scene, like a regional or a higher end, like, ARG circuit, and you're playing against Salamangreats and Orcust. And given Orcust, I don't know if they're playing hand traps or not. I haven't really paid attention to them. But, like, Salamangreats, where that's legitimately how they fix their deck, is they played more hand traps. So, I mean, like, it's really good. For the Guard Dragons, 1 Magna Rocket. Yeah, sadly, we cannot play the junk. Well, you could. Technically, you could. But we had to cut Ib and Borlode Savage for the Azathoth and Narla. So by doing that, we removed the Rocket Synchron to give us Magna Rocket, which is a level 4 extender to make the Azathoth. So, and it's also a dragon, so you draw a Quick Launch with this. It's essentially one of the only bricks in the deck. Like, you don't want to see this card in your opening hand, but if you do see it, you can just put it back with Saryuja, and then, you know, yada, 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 the same old Guard Dragon stuff. Red Eyes Darkness Metal, you need him for the combo. I mean, he's like the heart and soul of the deck. If he goes away, and I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he's going to go away, but guys, like, even in the Thunder Guard Dragon list that I've seen at top, they don't even play this guy. So I don't understand why everyone's so scared about this card going down the drain with Guard Dragons. Like, yes, now maybe if the Rocket deck now sees some hardcore play and it becomes like high meta, like maybe they might eventually think about hitting this card. But like outside of like Dragoonides and just like us like pure, I want to say pure, but like our more Guard Dragon plays, like we're not using Thunder Dragons, this card is not like relevant. Like, I don't know. Everyone's been scared of the past 2 ban lists, and I've not seen it getting hit. So, I mean, you take it what you will. We do have like replacements for this card, like Tempest, but like it'll definitely, if we do lose this card, it'll take some tinkering around with the deck to potentially get it to where it was. So, yeah, we'll just have to do it, cross that bridge when we get there, which I don't think we will, unless, like I said, unless these guys, the Rocket Boys, do take off. But we shall see. For the last card, 1 Sea Turtle. I mean, it is, like I said, we don't need the turtle. We aren't World Chalice. But now I guess World Chalice is extended beyond that now. They don't need the turtle to win. They just set up a board with, like, Hot Red and Calamities. But, like, we don't need the turtle to win. We can put up 3 negates without the turtle. Then, but, like, if we get to the turtle, it's another win condition in the deck outside of, like, our standard negate board. So, still playing the turtle. Think we got to. I still like just putting down the turtle. To fix the turtle, we're playing 3 Waterfront still and the 1 Terraforming. We got to, I do believe, like, we have to see the Waterfront. And like I said, guys, in previous videos, you need to see this card in your opening hand or your first Saryuja. Drawing into it on a second Saryuja, like, you have to, like, awkwardly extend, or, like, you won't even be able to extend to get the Sea Turtle out on the field. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I just think that you must max out on it so you see it in your opening hand and see it on your first Saryuja draw. But this is, like, the max we can play. We could probably play, like, set rotation and yada, yada, yada if we wanted to, but yeah, we're just doing that for consistency. Moving on, we're playing 3 Quick Launch. Quick Launch Beams is not once per turn. A Poor Individual Soul, which you'll see in one of my duel videos coming up, ashed this, and I followed it up with a second one because it's not once per turn. It's a E-Tele for Rocket Monster, so it's pretty busted. But yep, not once per turn. Gets you the dragon, allows you to make the Asshole Thought, allows you to do Guard Dragon plays. It's really good. We're playing 1 Succession, 1 Guard Dragon, and 1 Monster Reborn. So I am still opting to play the Guard Dragon because before I always said, you know, Guard Dragon had only 1 interaction with Draco, but now Guard Dragon has more interaction with Ranru. So it's also not one, they're both hard once per turns. So like if I open them in multiples, this is good. Like these are two extenders, but if I were to open 2 Guard Dragons or 2 World Legacies, I kind of have a dead card in my hand. So that's why I'm opting to still play this. And 9 times out of 10, you're always going to have a dragon, or you're always going to be able to use Guard Dragon will be live. They've been very few instances where it was dead. So, I mean, like very few. Like I don't even remember once that it was dead. So just take that into consideration. You guys can, like, you guys don't have, I'm not saying it's like written in stone, you have to play it, but just food for thought. And then for one of the last spells, we play 1 Rhoda, because we want to get to Arborea as soon as we can, because Arborea allows you to protect yourself from Ogre if you don't get to the Thought. Arborea also allows you to make the Synchro, such as F8 on Dragster. So it's really, really good. And also, I guess this could also replace the 3rd Leonis, because Arborea just has more utility than the Leonis does. For the last trap, 1 Crusadia Crawler, searchable. I always would side this card out, and I hate myself for doing it, because I will build up, not be able to 1-punch, and attempt to search this card, but I realized I sided it out, and I really need to keep it in. And I sided out because I don't want to see it in my opening hand when I'm going second. I just don't want to see it, because I'm like, I'm just going to 1-punch him, but I do some miscalculations, and I'm not able to 1-punch him when I really need this card to make my Equal Max and Negate live, and I forget that I sided out. But it's the only trap we play. I do believe it's a 40-card deck, 42 maybe max. It really killed me not to play hand traps. I'm not gonna lie, like taking out the ashes and taking out the perms, really low key, got me pretty good. However, like in theory, the only card you should fear in this deck is a end perm, because once you make the Azul Thought, it shuts off everything. And eventually, when the other cards come out, we can fear the Rock, we can fear the Dark Ruler no more, we can fear all those. But essentially, up till then, we just have to fear. We just have to fear impermanence, and that's not too bad. I'll go ahead and show you guys my side and my extra. We played 2 Magius, who's also getting a rarity bump to his Prismatic, which is cool. You play 2 because essentially, like, you can use 2 in the combo. One of my favorite things is when they preemptively note, when you make Narla, they will affect Valor or imperm the Magius, and you're like, okay, and then you just make Azul Thought anyway, link into Regulex, then link back down into your second Magius, and then Wombo combo them anyway. That's really good. And that actually does come up quite a bit because people fear the Gnarla. Once they see that you are going to make Azalthot, they think they can just go ahead and get rid of their hand traps while they can. And also because when you use the one, like normally in your extra deck, if you end on like Avermax, you normally have Magius, Regulex, and Equalmax. So like you have the ability to do your standard Crusadia plays and climb Link back up if your board is broken. But 2 Magius, 1 Regulex, still here for the search out the crawler if we need to. And yeah, it just allows you, and then like this card can OTK on its own, like not gonna lie, like you point to it, it just whacks over something. He can just get, can be just as powerful as Equalmax in certain situations. But we usually go into this when we're gonna end on Equalmax with a solid negate, so I mean that's pretty good. Spatha, she's key to our Guard Dragon plays. I mean, what else can we say here? She allows you to move and set up your columns to special summon off of the LP and the Pitsy. Well, not really the Pitsy, but just the LP. She's key to, which is why I'm surprised she didn't get a super, to be honest with you. She's really key to our combos. But anyway, 1 Equalmax who did get a rarity bump, but he's Prismatic Secret Rare too. But he's really good. So like, let me just go ahead and do a kind of a little more in-depth with Equalmax and Avermax. So let's just go ahead and get these guys out of the way. So these 2 cards are your last Crusadia cards. So like I have found in some, depending on the meta and depending on what you're playing, Avermax is just like Twiz uploaded a video. Like you make this card against almost every deck, you almost win. They have to hard out it, but normally you're not making this card alone. You have like ways to stop them from getting to cards such as Borreload and stop them from getting into cards without this card. But like this card is so good, and like I want to say like almost like the Rogue matchup. So like in certain matchups you make this over the Equalmax. I think Equalmax shines in like the Rogue matchups because we have the ability. Some of the more combo and Roger decks are more. Some of the more Rogue decks are combo heavy, and Equalmax has the ability to just target negate, so he can't be chain blocked out, for lack of better terms. So he shines a lot. He's also more aggressive. Like he can do way more damage than Avermax can. He applies a lot of pressure, and same with him. I think that, in my opinion, that I can't tell you which one's better, but I can tell you that Crusadia Avermax solidifies a board state where you already have like 2 to 3 negates, and Crusadia Avermax applies a lot of pressure to a board state because it's like now that you have this guy, he is an active negate. He's a huge monster. It's like if I don't get rid of him, he's going to hit me. This guy I can get rid of, and if I do somehow get rid of him, he's going to just shuffle back something. So like they both have their very similar purposes, but different utilities, if that makes sense. You just kind of got to read the field and play the board the way you want to. I know that against Altergeist and Sky Strikers, this guy just blows them out of the water. But I can tell you, like, this guy is better against the Salad Great matchup. It's just, yeah. This is better against Salad. I'd say this guy's better against the Thunder Dragon Crusadia because you have the ability to swoop in there and interrupt chain links, so they can't really block you out with like the Thunder Dragons and everything. And you have the ability to negate the Saryuja, and everything. It can also negate the Thunder Dragon Colossus, so you can just whack over it if you need to. But that's my 2 cents on these cards. And I'm playing this guy instead of a second Skull Dread. And I'm not going to explain to you guys why. Well, I kind of will because that's how I am, but I'm not going to go into detail on why. But that's it for the Crusadia lineup. Moving on to the Guard Dragons, LP, Pitsy. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to get slaughtered. I call it Pitsy, but it's not. So, slaughter me. Bring in the pain, Augur Pain. You need to play these. These cards are so busted. However, I'm one of those people that believe like these cards should stay in the game. We have like cards coming out that answer like the problem, and I think that this Konami should use these guys as a bias or a, what do you call it, a foundation to build future Dragon support less broken. That's what I'm going to. But you play these there, you need to. They're the Guard Dragon engine. That's what makes this deck end on like 4 or 5 negates. Triple Burst, it's really good. You normally make this, you turn the Augur Pain and Pitsy into this, so like you can then go into other monsters beside dragons. This card is so good. Like even outside of like that, its effect that it's like can stop anything during damage step has come up and will come up. It's really good. It's like a third form of negation, but it's just situational. 1 Skull Dread. I'm still opting to play 1. I don't think you need to play 2. I think if you're going to the second Skull Dread, whatever you're digging for, it's too late anyway. You need to see it on your first or in your opening hand. That's just my opinion. But yeah, as long as this, surprisingly, this card's still at 3. Who would guess Konami would let it survive that long? And then we're playing 1 FA Dawn Dragster. We make it with any level 4 in Arborea. It's another form of disruption we can end on. Normally, you save it for the Evenly if you are fearing the Evenly. And then we play 1 Crystal Wing. When the new 10s come out, I will probably move back to the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. just because of the ability that you need to negate the Dark Ruler no more. And I mean, like, we need to negate that card. And like, we cannot respond to it with a monster effect, but like if we end on a board with like Ecomax and we chain the Crawler to it, and then we chain Hot Red to that, we can negate it. So I mean, Crystalling is good though. It stops the danger, stops hand traps, but I do think once we get the 10 promos, we might see it fall back. I might take it out and play Hot Red instead. Now for the Peace Day Resistance, we're playing 1 Narla and 1 Azalthot. So, well, I really can't go into any firm detail. Like, you can put the 2 level 4s and make the Narla, then you just smack Thought over there, and your opponent now cannot respond with monster effects for the rest of the turn, until the end of the turn. So yeah, I mean, it's good. This allows us to pretty much just play without any interruption, and then essentially just build our board for free, without any fear of like an Ash, Ogre, Veiler, anything, except for an Impermanence. And Impermanence can and will mess us up. However, the deck can easily play through 1 hand trap. So if they have that hand trap and we have like a subpar hand, we can play through it still. But yep, moving on, we'll go quickly through the side deck real quick just so I can get it for you guys. Of course, playing the tokens I've had forever for whatever reason. We opted siding in Ash, Veiler, and Lancia for hand traps. I was still scared. I didn't know if there was going to be any Orchist or any sort of Thunder Dragon, so I wanted to keep the Lancia. You put these guys in, going second against also Orchist and stuff like that. You hit the Mermaids. You just hit other rogue options. Like, since we don't have room in the main for them, I thought siding would be pretty good. A card I will probably test will probably end up being the Denko Sekka, because it's too good. But moving on, we have 3 Boots. Boots so good. I mean, let's just, like, stop. Let's boot the Judgment, really, is what it's for. Because if they mess up our normal summon, we ain't going nowhere. So when you got to have the boot. And I don't think it's main deck worthy yet. However, I know some going second builds like to main deck it, and that's fine. I do believe, like, if you're going second, you should main deck it. But to kind of complement that, I'm still playing 3 Cyclones. I might move back to Twin Twisters. I noticed, like, this weekend in the Cleave Fort matchup especially, having Twin Twisters would have done me a lot better than the Cyclone. But sometimes, like, you don't want to ditch, like, an important combo piece in your hand, so it's like, I guess I need to play through and see how this variant does versus losing a combo piece with Twin Twisters. But I'm really going to be a salty guy when I go to use Twin Twisters, pitch a combo piece, and they Judgment me, and I just lost nothing. I lost everything for nothing. I didn't get the cards I was going for. So, I mean, we'll just have hindsight. We'll have to see. I do like Cyclone, but I think Twisters might see more prevalence, but I don't know. It just depends on how heavy of a back row format we begin to see. That's it for the deck profile, guys. Like I said, please comment down below if you guys have any questions or concerns. Just let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I went undefeated with the deck. It performed phenomenally. I do think I'm going to continue to play the Guard Dragon variant just because I do think that it is the superior variant compared to, like, the pure variant. I do think the Azalthot variant is probably the best variant right now. I'm not going to lie. I do believe that the Azalthot is the best variant to play, because hand traps like Ogre are back in the scene, and Ogre messes us up. So it's just my opinion, guys. However, you guys build your deck how you want to. I support anyone in building the deck the way they want to. This is the game for fun. You can play competitively or you can just play casually. I do not care. This is just kind of to show you how good this deck is, and yeah. But this is Charles from Team COG. We're just going to go ahead and sign on out of here. You guys have a wonderful day. Stay tuned for more content.